to take this posture, downward facing dog, with some deep breathing to begin, and some gentle movement through your legs. In other words, bending one knee and stretching the opposite leg as you do so. You'll feel your hips shift a little bit left and right. Allow the side body to find length. Sometimes we take the feelings into maybe the shoulders or the legs a bit, and try and take your attention to elsewhere in your body in this pose. And of course, breathing in downward facing dog is just wonderful, and it is all good yoga. So good morning and welcome. It's a fantastic stretch. It's a great way to start a practice, to start a day, right? Stay firm by pressing your hands firmly into the ground, into the mat, and let your quadricep muscles push back against your thigh bones. So you're feeling equally active in your arms and in your legs. Switch. We'll take one more breath here. And let's drop our knees and come into child's pose. So take your hips back towards your heels, right? Let your head and your chest come down towards the ground. The chest will rest on your thighs, your head hopefully on the floor, or maybe you can stack your hands if that's better for you. And you can take that same kind of squiggly left and right motion into your hips a little bit. It's a good way to kind of warm up the low body, but do it gently. Gently, particularly at the beginning of class, to kind of coax your body into yoga mode here. Nice. And then slowly lift yourself up to your hands and your knees. So bringing yourself up to your hands and your knees, we'll alternate some spinal balances here. So take an inhale, lift your right leg and your left arm, nice and long, full breath, and then exhale, place it back down. Other side, inhale, take your left leg and your right arm, slowly extend them, and exhale, bring them down. So we're going slow, alternating, lifting opposite leg and arm, staying firm in the belly as we do this. You get to work the spine in a little bit of a different way. And now you can start to bring some more like movement and breath together, somewhat doable in this exercise. Keep your head in a nice neutral position so that the neck stays long, pretty much facing the floor, the head, without letting it hang so much so. Well done. Take one more time on each side here. Yeah. And when you're done with that, press back, downward facing dog. Once again, a little bit more warmed up, bringing some breath, some stretch, some length into our body. From your dog, take your right leg and lift it up into the air behind you and extend your leg. Push your left heel down to the floor and lift your right leg up as high as it can go. So go for the stretch in your thighs and in your legs. Good. And then switch sides, take the right leg down and lift your left leg up, extending that back and up as well, reaching through the bottom of the foot. Let your right heel be heavy towards the earth. Well done. Place the left foot down, and again, put your knees down. More of a compact child's pose. Keep your legs together, bring your arms by your side, and lift your head and your chest come down. Nice. Just a couple breaths here. This is a much deeper stretch for the back part of your body. Let the fingers naturally curl. Let the head and the chest hang down over your legs. Take a few breaths here into the back side of your body. And by all means, always help yourself if you need a child's pose throughout your practice this morning. Lift your head and your chest up and come on up to a kneeling position. You can take your knees a couple of inches apart. Inhale, breathing. Reach your arms up over your head. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms to face up towards the ceiling and just hold this right here. Take the pelvis, push it a little bit forward. Bring your arms back to open up your shoulders and to get into your upper back. Well done. Now lean over to your right, come into a bit of a side bend on the left side body, little spinal flexion to the side. And then come up, go to the other side, lift up and over, push through the palms of your hands at your right side body. Find some length as well. And then bring it back down, or bring it to the center and place your hands down on the floor. Come back to your hands and your knees. Few cats and cows here. Little movements here to get us warmed up, rolling through the spine. Staying kind of present as we do this. This one's easy to get a little mindless in. We just kind of flop our spines forward and back and kind of stay with it. Maybe explore a new or a different sensation in your body, or just use this as an opportunity to get to feel your body this morning. Sometimes we get information from these poses that maybe we did not know. One more time, cats and cows here. Well done. And yet once again, downward facing dog. Hands out in front and tuck your toes. Well done. Nice stretch. The dogs feel better and better. The breath a little bit more confident and smooth. And now look forward and bring your feet up to your hands. So you're coming into a standing forward fold. Now bend your knees just a bit. Let your belly rest on your thighs and grab your elbows and dangle. You can sway a little bit to the left and to the right if you'd like. Let the head hang. Keep your tailbone lifted. Let your backside body start to open up just a bit. Good. And then from here, keep your knees bent. Lightly grab your ankles with your hands. Just a light grip from the front. And widen your feet a bit. So just kind of inchworm your feet a little bit further away from each other. I want you to bend your knees pretty deep, like bunk pose here. Drop down into this like little squat. Your arms will wind up being on the insides of your legs as you get down into your hips, and then straighten the legs, come into a fold. Okay. Let's do that again. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and like reach the chest forward, and even your chin can jut a little forward. And then again, straighten out your legs, really deep hip work here. A couple more times. Bend the knees, so your hips will go down about as to the same height as your knees, maybe a little lower if it's a good day. And then fold here. Yeah. And then one more time, drop down. Drop down. Keep the weight in your heels. Right? And then lift up. And again, forward fold. Good. Place your hands on your outer hips, your outer thighs here. Elbows point up towards the ceiling. And very slowly bring yourself up to a stand. Good. Walk your feet in a little bit closer so that they are underneath your hips. Let your arms come down by your side. Slightly turn your palms forward, a little bit flared forward, so that your shoulders can open up a bit. And inhale, breathing. Let's lift the arms up over the head. Reach up. So hold this just a moment. Push the feet down. Engage your legs and use your arms to lift your chest away from your hips. Give yourself a lot of space here. It's actually a very underrated stretch. This is a good one. And then exhale, we'll take a forward fold. Bend your knees by all means and drop down. Take an inhale, look forward and step your right leg to the back of the mat. Settle down into your runner's lunge here. Let the exhale lower the hips down. Good. And then straighten your leg into this pyramid pose. Drop your forehead towards your knee, and then come back to the runner's lunge, right? Dropping down the front leg. And again, straighten the front leg. Good. Pull the left hip back. Come into your runner's lunge. Put weight into your left heel. One more time. Straighten your leg. Drop the head towards the knee. And come into your runner's lunge. Plant your right palm flat, pick up your left arm and twist. Turn your spine. Reaching your left arm up towards the sky, keep your left knee pointing forward and lean your chest away from your left leg. Bring your left hand down and step yourself back into downward facing dog. Inhale, breathing, come forward into a plank position. And exhale, breathing, lower all the way down to the ground. Release the feet. Cobra pose. Inhale, get a lift to your chest. Start to get into the back pretty deeply here. And then exhale, breathing lower down. To get back to down dog, you can push up to your hands and your knees. You can push up through a plank, various different ways. And lift yourself, your hips back up. Dog. All right. So other side, we'll take it from the back here. Take your right leg, lift it up, bend it. Bend the knee so the right knee starts to point up towards the ceiling. Right, your left arm stays lifted and you get this little scorpion's tail thingy happening. And now take your right foot and step it up in between your hands. Come back to your runner's lunge here. So I'm on my fingertips. It gives me a little bit more space. And here we go. We'll straighten out the leg and drop the head, pyramid pose. And then come back to the lunge. Bend the knee. Good. And now continue, leg straight. Try and keep your left leg as straight as possible the whole time. And your right leg might not straighten out fully, right? Do the best that you can. That's a pretty deep stretch for the front leg. Good. One more time, taking it back. And then settling back into your runner's lunge. Keep your left palm flat, pick up your right arm, and open up into your twist. Good. Lean your chest away from your left knee, from your right knee. And open up across the chest. Bring your right hand down and step your left foot up to the front of the mat. Inhale, breathing, push your shins away from you, lift your chest up. And exhale, breathing, drop back down. Inhale, we stand. Take your arms up over your head as you do so. And exhale, breathing, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, breathing, arms up. Reach up. Again, strong lift, maybe a slight backward bend. And then exhale, breathing, forward fold, come down. Good. Inhale, take your left leg, step it to the back of the mat, and put the knee down. Lift up, low lunge. Inhale, breathing. Lift yourself up, lift your chest up. Take your hands behind you and interlace your fingers. Pull your knuckles back, open up your chest just a bit, lean back, but keep your hips pressed down and forward. Nice. Release your grip, downward facing dog. Put your hands down and step your right leg back. Good. Come forward into plank pose. Inhale, breathing. Shift yourself forward. You can always put your knees down first. Lower down to the ground. Vinyasa. Inhale, breathing. Cobra pose. And exhale, breathing. You take it back to downward facing dog. Other side, left leg lifts up into the air. Inhale, breathing. Lift the leg up. Bend the knee, right? So you open up, try and point that knee up towards the ceiling, right? And then take your left foot, step it forward in between your hands. Lightly land your right knee down and lift up. Low crescent lunge with breath and space. Reach up through your side body, maybe look up a bit. Again, take your hands behind you. If you can, interlace them the other way, kind of the unfamiliar way. Again, pulling the knuckles back, letting your chest open up, look up. Good. And then release hands down to the floor and step your right foot up to the front of the mat. Inhale, breathing. Push your shins away from you, lift your chest. Exhale, drop back down. Inhale, again we stand, come all the way up. And exhale, breathing, bring your hands to your heart center. Right. Bring your legs together now. And we'll balance a bit on our left leg. So standing on your left leg, lift your right leg up in front of you and just reach lightly for your right knee with your right hand. When you feel balanced enough, take your left arm up by your ear. Bring your left hip underneath you, so don't let it stick out to the side. The more you create a line on the left side body, nice long, even line, I think the easier it will be to balance. Pull your belly in, firm up your standing left leg, and reach through your left fingertips. Good. Now take your right arm up by your ear, and hold the leg there just for a moment. And then bring your hands together. Lower the leg down and take the hands to the heart. Other side. Here we go. Right leg, solid and firm. Left leg lifts. Lightly reach for the left knee with your left hand. Right hip tucks underneath your right shoulder. And lift the right arm up into the air. Firm up your right leg. Push the right heel down. Belly is in. Let your chest open up. Reach up through the fingertips. Good. And now take your left arm up as well. Again, it's that same strong standing position. Only doing it on one leg now. And then again, hands to your heart and place your left foot down. Lunge. So let's take the left leg and step it to the back of the mat. So we're in a wide-legged stance. Our right toes are still pointing forward, triangle pose. We're going to keep our legs as straight as possible. Take a side body bend towards your right leg and let your right hand drop down onto your right shin. Take your left arm up into the air. Open up your chest. Good. So we'll do this a couple more times. You might be able to find a little bit more depth as you get a little bit more warmed up. But don't chase the depth so much so now. You actually want to find the space in your left arm and the left side of your ribs. Instead of trying to reach for the floor with your right hand, use your legs. Firm up your legs as if you're drawing them towards each other to open up your chest. To get space into your upper body, you need strength in your lower body. And then inhale, bring it on up. And we're just going to switch the feet. So you will be facing the back of your mat. Same pose, turn the left toes towards the back. And then lean towards the left foot as if you're almost deepening the crease a bit in that left hip. Bringing the left arm down, take the right arm up into the air. Good. And then take a breath and let the breath be the barometer as to, am I in this pose okay? If it's too much of a struggle to breathe, then we find a little bit of a gentler version. And then once the breath gets comfortable with what's happening in the muscles, then you can attain a little bit of depth. And that's why having a practice is so good, because this comes over time. Sometimes it doesn't happen in one class, but over the course of your practice, it most definitely will. Inhale, breathe in, bring yourself back up. Hold your arms there. Turn your left toes so that they're pointing in the same direction as your right toes. And we'll take a forward fold this way. Put your hands down on the floor. So the first one is just kind of hanging out. Let the elbows bend and let the head and the chest come down. It's a fantastic stretch for the back part of your body. Right? Your inner thighs and such. If you can, let the weight really be heavy in your torso and in your ribs. Inner thighs start to open, quads pull back. Keep the weight a little bit forward towards your toes. Let your head and your chest drop down. Nice. And 2 more breaths, a bit of an inversion here, right, as you calms and get your head below your heart. And then place your hands under your shoulders once again. Look forward here. And then walk your hands to your right foot. Turn your right toes towards the front of your mat so you're coming into a runner's lunge. And vinyasa, take your right leg back to your left in plank pose and lower down either to the floor or halfway for chaturanga. And then coming into up dog or cobra and downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here in your dog. You to feel a little bit of heat in the body and a whole lot more space. Nice. And then look forward, bend your knees and walk. Maybe you'd like to jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, breathing, half lift. Exhale, breathing, and drop down. And inhale, breathing, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So more balance before going to the other leg. We'll take a tree pose here. Standing on the left leg, take the sole of the right foot onto the inside of the leg. So mine is low, right? I'm down around my calf, right? If you're feeling good, you can take the foot up a little bit higher. If that works for your balance and for your hips, reach your arms out and up. Lift up. Take the attention out of the lower body and bring it into your upper body. Feel your back muscles engage, holding yourself up. Feel your tricep muscles pull in, extending your arms to get a little bit more length into your upper back, into your side body. This is so good for your posture, and yes, it's working your balance and the strength into your left leg. Hold yourself still, as if you could hold this for a long time. And bring your hands together and release the pose. Place your right foot down on the floor. Very nice. Other side, here we go. Standing on our right leg. We'll take the left leg up. Again, depending on the hip, don't worry where the knee goes. You do want your hips to be as level as possible and your left toes to point towards the floor. Right? Your inner right ankle, I suppose. And then again, reaching up through your arms and lifting up through your side body. Pull your belly in, firm up your right leg. Soften the back of your neck. Control your breath. Feel as if you're in control, even though you're a bit challenged by the elements of what it takes to balance on one leg. Breathe. And then bring your hands together and place your left foot down on the floor. Very nice. All right. Now our right leg is going to step back. Okay. So we'll add on a bit here. We're going to start with the triangle pose. So same sequence. Reach the arms out. Maybe there's a little bit more depth. Come down. Bring the left hand down. Take the right arm up. Firm up your legs. Open up your chest. Good. Breathe. Right. So feel strong without being like gnarly and tight. Like let the strength find fluidity in your muscles. And that's giving you space and stability in the posture. Reverse the triangle. You're just taking the torso the other way. Slide your right hand down your right leg. Lift your left arm up. You may also take the back of your right hand across your low back. That's actually a nice way to keep your right shoulder back. Gives you a nice cleaner side bend. And now bring yourself back up to center. Look over your left fingertips and bend your left knee. Warrior two pose. Drop down into your Virabhadrasana 2. Pull your right arm back just a bit. Nice. Hold your chest up once again. Let your hips be a little bit heavy. Good. Take an inhale, straighten your left leg and reach your arms all the way up over your head. Look up as your hands touch. And then exhale. Press back down, warrior two. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, breathing. Bring it up. And exhale, breathing. Take it down. Good. Inhale, breathing, lift up. And exhale, breathing, come back to warrior two. Upward warrior here or reverse. Lift up through your left arm. You can take your right hand back behind you as you drop down into your hips. Lift up. Strong stretch into the left side of the body. Come back to warrior two. And straighten your left leg. Good. Turn your left toes towards the right here. And here we go. Take a forward fold. Come down. Put your hands down. Drop your head in your chest. Nice. Coming into a forward fold here. This time we'll reach for our calves or our ankles and pull ourselves in. So you get the opportunity to use your arms to pull your chest toward your legs and maybe between the legs. Tailbone lifting up into the air. Let the head and the chest hang. Putting a whole lot more depth into this posture. Very nice. One more breath here. And then release and inhale, breathing. Bring yourself up to a stand. Turn your right toes now towards the back of your mat, sliding your left heel back. And here we go, triangle pose on this side. Maybe a little bit more space. Reach your chest away from your hips. Try and keep your spine as long as possible. This doesn't become a backward bend. So the belly pulls in quite a bit, the left shoulder pulls back. Slight twist to the spine. Nice. And reverse it. Inhale, breathing, lift up. Slide the back of your left hand back. Reach your right arm up. Push into the ball of your right foot as you do so. And then warrior two. Come back to the center and bend your right leg, dropping down into the posture. Hold your chest up. Nice. Inhale, breathing, straighten your leg. Reach the arms up. Good. And then exhale, breathing, bring it back to warrior two. Maybe a little deeper. Inhale, breathing, reach up and lift up. Exhale, breathing, and come down. Nice. Last one, inhale, bring it on up. And exhale, breathing, take it down. Slide into reverse or the upward warrior. Right arm lifts up, left arm can come behind you. Reach up through the right arm. You can look up at your right hand, that's where the drishti would be. Keep your back leg firm, press your left foot flat. And come back. Warrior two. Good. Straighten your right leg, turn your right toes towards the left here. And again, we're going to come down. One more forward fold here. This time, walk your hands through your legs. Dropping down, very deep variation. You can be on your fingertips. The arms can still stay bent. Or your palms can be flat and you can slide your hands all the way forward. Drop the head and the chest. Couple more breaths here. Very, very deep variation. Maybe get a little bit more space between your legs if you have that available to you. If you need to keep a bend to your knees, that's perfectly okay. And now bring your hands under your shoulders, look forward, lift up. Walk your hands to your left foot, turn your left toes towards the front of your mat. And vinyasa, take your left leg back to your right and lower down front plank through chaturanga and into your backward bend. And downward facing dog. Good. And from your down dog, look forward, please. Bend your knees and bring your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, breathing, half lift. Exhale, breathing, fold. And inhale, bring it up. Exhale, take your hands again to your heart center. All right, last balance. Doing a lot of balancing this morning. So kind of like the first variation, we're going to take the right knee up and we're going to hold it with the right hand. This time we're going to open out the knee to the right and then reach your arm out to the left. You've got quite a bit going on here. Now you're going in kind of a more multi-dimensional space in your balance here. But that same line from your left heel through the left shoulder remains. If you have it, you can turn your head and look over your left hand. Keep pushing your right knee into your right hand. That tension will help with your balance. And then look back forward. Good. Bring your right knee forward. Bring your left arm up. Hang in there. Take your right arm up by your ear as well. Stand tall and release. Take a bit of leg work to balance like that. A couple of breaths here in Samasthiti. And we'll take it on the other side. Here we go. Left leg. Grab the left knee with your left hand. Good. And then open it out to the side. Firm up your right leg and reach your right arm out to the side parallel to the floor. Maybe a little wobbly, but stay lifted. And firm the belly. Use your upper back. Maybe look over your right fingertips. Don't hold your breath. And then take everything back forward, right arm up overhead, left knee is forward. Take your left arm up by your ear as well. And release. Good. Inhale, breathing, arms up over your head. Exhale, breathing, and forward fold. Come down. Nice. Inhale, breathing, half lift here. Let's step the right leg to the back of the mat. Put your right knee down and lift up low crescent lunge. Good. Now take your right arm and start reaching it across the diagonal into a prayer twist. Hooking your right tricep on the outside of your left leg. And then leaning your chest back a bit. Good. So as you take the chest back, you can get a little bit more of a twist, hopefully aligning your sternum with your thumbs. Keep your chin lifted and keep your left knee pointing forward. Done. From here, look towards the floor. Place your right hand down and lift your left arm up, so more of a traditional twist. And now bring your left hand down on the inside of your left leg for lizard lunge. And you might need to move your legs a bit. Like the left foot will move to the left. You can probably take your right knee back, maybe a bit. Keep your left knee directly over your left ankle. And if you know the pose, you can find your depth. I prefer to stay on my hands. Although if you want to come down to your forearms, you can do that. Even though a large part of my body weight is in my hands and my arms, I still feel the hips settling and sinking down. If you like, you can release the top of your right foot. Wonderful, wonderful stretch for your hips. Take about 5 more breaths here. If you are on your forearms or closer to the ground, bring yourself up onto your hands. Right? Kind of prop your chest up. Shift your weight back a little tiny bit and take your left leg back next to your right. Good. Before we go to the other side, we'll take a spinal extension with Anahata. So keeping your hips over your knees, walk your hands out to the front corners of the mat and drop your head and your chest down towards the floor. Nice to do this after a bunch of downward facing dogs because you feel a little bit more connected to your upper chest and your shoulders. This is a huge upper body back bend for your upper spine, a little bit more difficult to access that part of the body. So you tend to feel this one. See if you can keep your arms fully extended. And not too many people can get their chin on the floor. You really want to watch your neck with this. So maybe just let the forehead or the nose lightly graze the floor. We're taking one more breath here. And then slide your hands back under your shoulders and lift up to your hands. Good. From here, we're going to come right to the other side. So bring yourself up, lift your chest up, and step your right foot up into the lunge. Okay? So the left arm kind of reaches across this diagonal into the prayer twist. Joining your hands together, letting the hips stay down and forward. It's a great way to get into your back. So twists are good to work the muscles of your spine, to keep your backs healthy and strong. Keep reaching the chest, kind of the head away from your hips so you're not compressed or congested in any way in your upper body. A strong, strong, deep pose. So we'll keep the twist. We'll just open up the hands, putting the left hand down and reaching the right arm up. Good. And then into the lizard, taking the right hand down inside of your right foot, moving your right foot a bit over to the right. Keep your right knee directly on top of your right ankle and allow your hips to settle A couple more breaths, lowering down onto forearms if you'd like. This is a good one for blocks and props and such. Either way, you can find some substantial stuff happening in your hips. 3 more breaths. Well done. And then bring yourself up onto your hands. Going to shift your weight back a bit and take your right leg and bring it back next to your left. So you're here on all fours. Good. A few more cats and cows. I always like doing this later on in the class. Take it with your eyes shut so you'll feel more somewhere in your body. Good. Very nice. Beautiful. And then settle back into the center. All right, let's take our feet out to the side and we'll make our way into our seated position here. It's really, really good posture, Paschimottanasana. So sit with your feet flexed. This is a good one to have for the back part of your body. Try and sit forward on your sit bones. You don't want to sit back or curve your spine here. So sitting up, your back is still active and engaged. Lift your arms up over your head. Good. And now lean forward and come down. Drop your head and your chest down. Your hands can either be on the floor next to your legs or on the legs themselves. If your knees need to take a subtle bend, then that's what needs to happen. Do let the upper body, and particularly the head, weigh heavy here. So that you can start to get some space into your back. In your backside body, about 5 more breaths here. We're not pulling here, so we're not like trying to get ourselves deeper into the posture. We're just acknowledging our end range, kind of our end game, as it is for this posture. 3 more breaths. Let the head and the chest find ease. Good. Last breath. And then slowly slide your hands back next to your hips and bring yourself up to a seated pose. Good. Let's come down onto our backs now. Bend our knees, place the feet on the floor. Good. Take your arms up over your head. Let the backs of your hands press into the floor. And now lift your hips up, taking this version into bridge pose. So you might not get your hips up as high as if your arms were by your side, that's fine. But when you lift your hips up, don't put it all into your neck. Feel the backs of your shoulders start to kick in as well. So this really is taking the familiar bridge pose and making it a little bit more about your upper back than your lower back. Still power through your legs as you push your heels down, right? So that maybe you get a little bit more space into the front part of your pelvis. Nice. And then very, very slowly, oh, that feels so good. Lower your hips down to the floor. Bring your right knee into your chest. Good. Bring the right knee in and extend your left leg. Good. Pick up your head and bring your nose towards your right knee. So get a little bit forward going. Nice. And then inhale, extend the arms and the leg. And exhale, go to the other side. Bring the left knee in. Good. And then inhale, breathing. Let go of the leg, extend. Exhale, back to the right leg. Good. And now taking a few more of these, moving a little slower. The muscles will engage a little bit better, I think. Tremendous lengthening of the body, and then compression. So alternating that. Very good. To the belly. Nice. One more time each side. The right knee goes in. The leg extends. And then the left leg comes in. Lifting the head of the chest up. And then you extend and you lie down. Nice. Bend your both knees once again and place your feet on the floor. Good. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open out just a bit for a Supta Baddha Konasana, a reclining pose here. The big inner thigh stretch. You can place your hands outside your legs if that's just too much gravity for your joints. I get it. It is for me. It can start to affect the knees a little tiny bit. Sometimes placing blocks kind of right underneath those outer thighs there to support the posture is a nice thing to do. Let the back kind of relax and be soft. Right? And allow the inner thighs to open up just a little tiny bit more as we kind of take the practice down. 3 more breaths here. And then gently take your hands on the outsides of the legs, draw the knees together. Bring the knees into your chest. We'll take a twist here on our backs. Reach your arms out to the sides and drop your knees over to the right. Let them land where they land. If you bring your knees up a little higher, it'll be a bit of a deeper twist. And if that's the case, then you make sure your left shoulder and arm stay on the ground. Let the legs flop over to the side, letting the belly and the back soften and relax a bit. Maybe a few cracks and pops, perfectly normal. Turning your head a bit to the left, it's just fine. Last breath here. And then gently set up for the other side. Come out of it a little slow. Make sure you're still centered on your mat. Start with your knees into your chest a bit, and then let the knees go over to the other side. Reaching out through your arms, keeping your upper back flat, letting your hips, a little bit of a hip stretch, some good lower body hip stuff. All that balance work really is leg work, essentially. You're doing other stuff with your upper body, but let's face it, the lion's share is in that standing leg. Let the legs relax now, let the hips open up. Letting this get into our back and into our spines. Last breath. And then let's release, and we'll rest for a couple of moments together here. So I'd like you to extend your legs. It's one of the most important poses of our practice. It really does complete the practice. Yoga is a holistic practice, so it includes the element of relaxation. Brief, but whole. So go as deeply as you can for these next few moments into letting your body completely relax. And we'll hold that together. Begin to bring a little movement back into our bodies, into our feet. Take your arms over your head and give yourself a full body stretch. Love this. Arching your back a bit. Bring your knees into your chest. And roll on your low back. This feels nice. And come on up into a seat. So we didn't start our practice today with a seat. We always end, though. So we'll take this seated moment. Our practice comes to an end. Let your hands gently rest on your lap. Find a nice lift to your spine and chest. Hold yourself up. And notice the ease of the breath. Muscles kind of settling back down. Well stretched. And in these pauses, you punctuate your practice with whatever intention or energetic or even spiritual aspect you may have to it. I'm grateful for all of this. Take our arms up over our heads. Big breath, last little stretch. Join your hands together and place them back in front. Chin to your chest. Have a beautiful day, everybody, wherever the day takes you. I'm glad you have some yoga in you. So make it a wonderful day, and I look forward to our next time together. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful class. I'll say goodbye here, and I hope to see you on Saturday, if not somewhere else along the way. So have a great day. Bye now.